What if the true language of creation was never lost, but hidden in plain sight? For centuries, mystics whispered of a secret code woven into the Hebrew Bible. Not just words, but patterns, numbers, and vibrations said to contain the blueprint of reality itself. This is not myth or metaphor. It is a tradition that scholars trace back to the most ancient manuscripts, guarded in silence and mystery. The Leningrad Codex, the oldest complete Hebrew Bible, is at the center of this enigma. To some, it is simply scripture. To others, it is a cipher, a divine program that reveals the fingerprints of God inside every line, every letter. And when decoded, it doesn't just speak about heaven. It speaks about us, about life, matter, and the hidden architecture of our very being. Tonight, we enter the mystery of the God Code, a journey between faith and science, where the sacred text and the genetic code whisper the same truth. The story begins with a book, yet not just any book. Preserved in the city of St. Petersburg, Russia, lies the Leningrad Codex, dated to the year 1008 AD. Scholars regard it as the oldest complete manuscript of the Hebrew Bible still in existence. Unlike later versions, copied and altered through centuries of translation, the Leningrad Codex carries a unique weight. It is considered the most faithful window into the ancient text. Every line, every accent mark, every small diacritical sign was preserved with meticulous care by scribes known as the Masoretes. Their mission was not only to copy words, but to safeguard a system of hidden knowledge, a lattice of letters and sounds designed to retain more than mere meaning. To the untrained eye, it is scripture, but to mystics, it is geometry, music, and vibration bound into a single sacred architecture. The Codex is not just history, it is a vault, holding the possibility of a code that speaks to the very structure of creation. From this codex emerges an idea both breathtaking and unsettling. What if the words themselves are not only carriers of meaning but blueprints of reality? Each Hebrew letter is more than a symbol. It is said to hold numerical value, sound, and shape that mirror the structures of nature itself. Mystics whispered that the Bible was never merely a moral guide. It was a coded formula, where the letters are the atoms of creation. And here lies the bridge to modern science. Just as DNA is written with 4 letters, A, T, G, and C, so too the ancient text was written with its own sacred alphabet. Both describe life. Both carry instructions. The question is, are these two alphabets speaking the same hidden language? If so, the God Code may not be poetry, but an encrypted pattern placed deliberately in the heart of Scripture and in the core of our cells. If you've stayed with me until now, you already know. The God Code is not just a theory, it's a mirror of who we truly are. If this journey sparked something in you, support this work. Like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who's searching for answers. Because the more we awaken, the clearer the code becomes. To understand the God Code, one must first understand the Hebrew alphabet itself. Unlike modern letters, the 22 Hebrew characters are more than sounds on a page. They are considered the very building blocks of creation. In Kabbalistic teachings, each letter carries not only a phonetic value, but also a numerical vibration, a geometry, and even a spiritual essence. This system is called gematria, a mystical form of numerology where words sharing the same numerical value are said to reveal hidden connections. For example, the Hebrew word for life and the word for God resonate through numbers, suggesting that language itself is woven into the architecture of the cosmos. To the sages, writing was not invention, but discovery. By arranging these 22 symbols, they believed they were tracing the blueprint by which reality itself was spoken into being. The alphabet was not a tool of man, it was the fingerprint of God. But if the Hebrew letters are the fingerprints of God, then what happens when those prints are smudged or erased? Over centuries, the sacred text was copied, translated, and edited. With each step, certain words shifted, others disappeared, and sometimes entire meanings dissolved into silence. Scholars of the Leningrad Codex insist that its value lies in being closer to the untouched source. Later translations, whether Latin, Greek, or English, introduced gaps, misreadings, and cultural filters. Mystics argue that within these missing or altered words lies the lost formula of creation. The Book of Enoch, the Apocrypha, the hidden Gospels, fragments of a greater puzzle scattered through time. What we call translation may also be transformation, a reshaping of divine code into human language. And so the question remains, what was hidden on purpose and what was lost by accident? Perhaps the truest scripture is not just what survives on parchment, but what is encrypted in our very being. In modern science, a new mystery emerges: DNA, the code of life. Every cell in your body carries 4 letters, A, T, G, C. They combine into billions of sequences, writing the book of who you are. To mystics, this structure is strangely familiar. The Hebrew alphabet with its 22 sacred letters was once seen as the blueprint of creation. And now, science reveals another alphabet, hidden inside our flesh. Some researchers even suggest parallels, the 4 bases of DNA echoing the 4 elements, or mirroring ancient sacred tetragrams. Could it be that the language of God was never meant to remain on parchment, but was written into the very spiral of life itself? A rabbi once said, "When you read the Torah deeply enough, you are not reading words, you are reading yourself." In the double helix, biology and scripture collapse into one. Here, the laboratory and the temple whisper the same secret. The code of life and the code of God may not be 2 stories, but one. If the God code is real, it is not just written in books nor hidden in laboratories. It is inscribed in you. The ancients said, "Man is the microcosm of the universe." Every letter of DNA, every twist of the double helix could be read as a sacred verse. This changes everything. You are not simply flesh and blood, but a living scripture, a walking temple. Your fears, your doubts, your desires, they are not errors, but lines in the same code. And to live wisely is to learn how to read them. The sages of Kabbalah taught that the Torah has layers: the surface story, the hidden meanings, and finally, the secret that points back to the soul itself. Perhaps DNA works the same way. Its surface tells of proteins and biology, but its depth reveals a signature that whispers, "You are more than chance, you are chosen." And maybe the true purpose of the God code is not to prove God exists, but to remind you, God has always been within. So, what is the God code, truly? Some say it is a cipher hidden in ancient scripture. Others see it in the language of DNA. But perhaps the truth lies in the bridge between both. The Leningrad Codex is not just an old book. It is a mirror of the cosmic order, a reminder that language itself shapes reality. DNA is not just biology. It is a living alphabet, carrying the divine word in every cell. When these 2 mirrors are placed together, scripture and science, they reflect the same message. Creation is not random, and neither are you. King Solomon said, "The glory of God is to conceal a matter. The glory of kings is to search it out." Maybe the God code is the very thing concealed. A challenge, a puzzle, meant for seekers who dare to look deeper. The ancients built temples of stone. Today the temple is hidden in your own being. The code is alive, and it has always been waiting for you to read it. If the God code truly exists within our DNA, do you think it's proof of divine design, or just a pattern our minds desperately want to see?